Romania also is interested to consolidate its cooperation with ASEAN. We are in the process of acceding to the Treaty on Amity and Cooperation in Southeast Asia, and Indonesia supports our efforts to that end. I see Indonesia as a country with very kind people. So everywhere I go, people are happy to help, they're happy to cooperate, and this is the aspect which I love most about Indonesia. And probably this is one of the reasons that Indonesia has such a success in tourism. It's not only the beauty of the country, but it's also the kindness of the people.
We would love to know, why is Romania known for vampires? What is the true story of Dracula Vlad, Ambassador?
Yeah.
Hubungan bilateral antara Indonesia dengan Rumania telah terjalin sejak tahun 1950. Kedua negara menikmati kemitraan yang baik dalam berbagai bidang, termasuk politik, ekonomi, dan sosial budaya. Potensi apa saja yang masih bisa dijajaki, dan bagaimana upaya kedua negara meningkatkan potensi tersebut? Halo pemirsa, saya Gracia Simanjuntak. Selamat datang di International Corner Antara. Bersama saya di Antara Heritage Center, Jakarta, telah hadir Duta Besar Rumania untuk Indonesia, His Excellency Dan Adrian Balanescu. Bună! Salut, Ambassador Balanescu!
Bună ziua! Hello!
Ce mai faci?
Bine, mulțumesc! Dumneavoastră?
Very good. Thank you. Let us start with bilateral relations and economic cooperation between Indonesia and Romania. Considering our long-standing relationship, how do you view bilateral relations between Indonesia and Romania so far, amidst the growing world turmoil, Ambassador?
We have started our bilateral relation in 1950, when Romania recognized the independence of Indonesia, and since then our relations were very good. We have had many presidential visits between our two countries. The first visit was in 1960, when President Sukarno visited Romania. Then our president came here in the 80s 2 times.
Right.
Then in 1997 and 2003. And the last visit at the level of president was in 2004, when President Megawati visited Romania. We don't have any bilateral problems, and generally we support each other in international organizations. Indeed, you mentioned the current international situation, which is quite difficult. But both Indonesia and Romania, as democratic countries, we have always supported international cooperations, the principles of international law, and the provisions of international treaties. One topic which is of great concern for both our countries, of course, is the war in Ukraine. Romania very clearly condemned the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and both countries were active in the United Nations and supported the resolutions voted in the United Nations in 2022 and 2023 in support of Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Another complicated conflict, as we know all very well, is the one in Myanmar, and Romania has expressed its support for the 5-point solution promoted by ASEAN. Another problem which affects international relations is the conflict in the Middle East, where Romania, first of all, condemned very harshly the terrorist attacks in the 8th of October last year. And also Romania supports peace negotiations based on the solution of the 2 states, together with the release of hostages and the provision of humanitarian assistance. to the affected population. And Romania also provided assistance to children from Gaza. A number of the children were taken to Romanian hospitals.
Yeah, true.
And were treated there. Also, I would like to say that Romania supports also the cooperation between Indonesia and the European Union, also through the conclusion of a free trade agreement between the two. And Romania also is interested to consolidate its cooperation with ASEAN. We are in the process of acceding to the Treaty on Amity and Cooperation in Southeast Asia, and Indonesia supports our efforts to that end.
Impressive. How does the trade exchange between the two countries, Indonesia and Romania, in the last 3 years, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, indeed, the pandemic showed low in our bilateral exchanges because of a normal situation during the pandemic. And if I'm not mistaken, in 2021, the bilateral trade was about $150 million. Then it started to grow steadily. And this year, probably, we will see towards 200 million euros, the bilateral trade, which it is still below potential, but is growing, and the tendency is important. Hopefully, this tendency will continue. Most Romanian products exported to Indonesia are industrial products, and Romania imports from Indonesia both agricultural products like natural rubber, which is the main export product of Indonesia to Romania, but also rubber tires and other chemical products and so on. We are also discussing the first import from Romania of wheat. Indonesia is a big importer of wheat in general. And now we are discussing the import from Romania because, as you know, the international market was very much affected by the war in Ukraine. Many of their export capacities and their ships and ports were affected by Russian bombings.
True.
And because of that, Indonesia has started to look to Romania to import wheat. So hopefully we will include that in our bilateral trade.
Are there any new economic sectors that have the potential to be developed by both countries, Ambassador?
Yes, there are. For instance, AI is a sector in which our our businesses cooperate, and in general, information technology. There is one Romanian company here in Indonesia in that field. It is called Arobs. It is a company from Cluj, and it's dealing in the sector of custom software development. Other new sectors, I would say, are weather-changing technologies, in which both our countries are quite advanced. Then, of course, it's green energy and others.
Is there any challenge that Indonesia and Romania should jointly tackle, and how do both countries tackle the issue?
Yeah, there are many challenges. As I mentioned before, we have all these conflicts which affect the lives of many people, and we believe the only solution to tackle these tragedies is through cooperation. And as mentioned before, Romania and Indonesia, they cooperate in international organizations, and we are both countries, democratic countries, that support the principles of international law and the provisions of international treaties. Then there are other challenges like climate change, which can only be tackled by cooperation, and Indonesia and Romania and both organizations from which they are part, European Union and ASEAN, we are very much involved in combating the effects of climate change. So yes, there are many challenges, but by cooperation, hopefully, we'll manage to dissipate their negative effects. Yeah.
Ambassador Balanescu, let us now move to social-cultural cooperation. Now tell us, how do Romanian people view Indonesia? What is the general view?
I would say first of all that Romanian people view Indonesia as a big tropical country. So they imagine Indonesia as a hot country.
Warm. Oh, okay.
Some Romanians, when they think of Indonesia, think simply as Bali. Because Bali is the most popular place here.
Yeah.
Many Romanians prefer coming to Bali. Of course, they know Bali is part of Indonesia, but for them, Indonesia is Bali.
Okay.
Of course, other people like myself or like many who travel here for international conferences or for business view Indonesia as it is, a very big and important country, the biggest country and the biggest economy in ASEAN, a member of G20, a country with increasing influence on the world scene, and so on.
Yeah.
A country with a big economy and a big influence. But myself, to be frank, after living here more than 3 years, I see Indonesia as a country with very kind people. So everywhere I go, people are happy to help, they're happy to cooperate, and this is the aspect which I love most about Indonesia. And probably this is one of the reasons that Indonesia has such a success in tourism. It's not only the beauty of the country, but it's also the kindness of the people. So our Romanian tourists, they come to Indonesia because they are treated well, because people are kind to them, and because they are feeling very well here.
It's nice to know that. How do both countries promote their respective tourism and cultures, Ambassador?
Yeah. To be frank, there are much more Romanian tourists coming here in Indonesia than Indonesian tourists going to Romania. After, of course, we had a low during the pandemic, when about 500 Romanian tourists came to Romania in 2021. Then the number started to grow quite exponentially, and we had last year about 25,000 of Romanian tourists coming to Indonesia. Mostly in Bali, but not only, because Lombok is also quite popular.
Okay.
There are many coming to Java, to Jakarta, Bandung, or Yogyakarta, for instance. So there are other destinations. This year, probably we will approach 27,000 from our estimates.
This year?
Yeah. So it is growing.
Yes.
The number of Romanian tourists here. As for the Indonesian tourists going to Romania, the numbers are lower. It is more difficult to count because many Indonesians, they go to Romania as part of a larger tour of European countries. So they include Romania in a tour with other Central European countries or with other Balkan countries, and they come on Schengen visa.
Yeah.
And because of that, they are not all of them included in statistics, but more or less, I think a few thousand of Indonesian tourists arrive in Romania each year. I would like to take this opportunity, because I am here,
sure.
to say a little bit about our tourism,
Please.
about our touristic spots. I think most Indonesians, they go to Romania to see our historical cities, like Brașov, Sibiu, Cluj, Timișoara, or the old town of Bucharest. Some go to our mountain resorts in the Carpathians.
Yes.
Or some prefer to visit old castles, like Bran Castle or Peles Castle in Sinaia. We have also other very beautiful places like the Danube Delta or the painted monasteries in Bucovina or the villages with fortified churches in Transylvania. So there are very many places for Indonesian tourists to visit in Romania. When I had a chance, I spoke about Romanian beauties, about Romanian beautiful places, like I'm doing now here with you, but also to other media. And as far as I know, an Antara team visited Bucharest recently.
Yes.
So hopefully they will publish some materials from our country so that Indonesians will see how nice is Romania, and hopefully more will visit our country.
Speaking of that, we would love to know, why is Romania known for vampires? What is the true story of Dracula Vlad, Ambassador?
Yeah. Well, it is true. Vampires are one of our many touristic attractions. But joking apart, this legend, as you know, comes from the novel of the Irish writer Bram Stoker.
Bram Stoker,
Yes, because he visited Transylvania, which is a region of Romania, and he discovered the story of our famous ruler called Vladi Impaler. He was called Vlad Impaler because he was impaling bad people, like criminals or even invaders. And his father was called Vlad Dracul. And from that name, Dracul, which means the devil, Bram Stoker took the name Dracula. And in his novel, the action of the story was placed in Transylvania in the so-called Dracula Castle, which many people identified with Bran Castle.
Yes.
This is an old castle from Brasov. But in fact, as historians say, the Romanian ruler Vladi Impaler, he practically didn't live in that Bran Castle. But he lived in another castle, which was called Poenar Citadel, an older castle than Bran Castle, and this is in the county of Argeș. But nevertheless, both castles are connected now with the legend of Dracula, because Vladi Impaler was connected with the two castles. So Indonesians want to visit or want to get scared by vampires, they can visit Bran Castle and Poenar Citadel. And for instance, during the Halloween, Bran Castle organizes some very scary tours. So they can take their chances to visit the Dracula Castle during the night on Halloween.
Every
and
Halloween.
hopefully they will survive.
Wow, okay, interesting. Ambassador, for cooperation in education, how do both countries increase collaboration in this sector?
Education is one of our priority sectors, because really Romania wants to strengthen the cooperation both with Indonesia and ASEAN in education. This is very important. Recently we have participated in the European Higher Education Fair, which was organized in Jakarta, and we have two very reputed universities which were present with their stands, University of Craiova and the West University of Timișoara. And hundreds of Indonesian young people visited their stands in order to see their offer of studying in Romania. We have many English language programs in Romania, which Indonesian youngsters can follow. Probably the best programs are those in medicine, engineering, or sciences. So Indonesians want to study in Romania, want to follow the European education system, like our system. They have two options. They can apply directly to universities. The school fees are not that high, much lower than in Western Europe. It's about $2,000 or $3,000 per year, the school fee.
Tuition fee, yeah?
Tuition fee, and for a student to live in Romania, because he can stay in the dormitories of the university and can eat at the university canteen, it's about maybe $500 per month.
Okay.
But we have also government scholarships. Every year the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Romania is offering a number of scholarships for Indonesians, and also the Ministry of Economy and Entrepreneurship is offering scholarships in this field of economy and entrepreneurship. Also, there are a number of universities from both our countries which signed memorandum of understanding. Like, for instance, the latest one is the University of Udayana from Bali and the University of Pitești. But not only, there are others, and these memoranda, they provide for exchanges of professors, of students, and so on. There are Indonesian students going in Romania also with on Erasmus Plus, and also there are Romanian exchange students coming to Romania, to Indonesia. Maybe not so many as Indonesian students, but still there are. From time to time we are contacted by Romanian students which are here on an exchange program. So it's many options for cooperation.
Mr. Ambassador, we will discuss maintaining democracy in the segment. Romania recently held its election. So, what are the preliminary results of the election and people's hopes?
Yes, so indeed we have election during this period. Romania has a system in which every 5 years we organize presidential elections, and every 4 years we organize parliamentary elections. This year happened to be at the same time.
Okay.
So, as you mentioned, on the 24th of November, we organized the first round of our presidential elections. And we had many candidates from different parties and independent candidates. And the results are the first two that won the biggest number of votes will advance to the second round.
Okay.
And that is an independent candidate and a candidate from one political party.
So, would you elaborate on the schedule for the next process and the leader's inauguration?
Yeah. Now this weekend we have the parliamentary elections in which a number of parties participate. The embassy will also organize, and so we expect Romanian citizens to come to vote. After that, 1 week after, on the 8th of December, we'll have the second round of presidential elections. After which the winner will, of course, become the next president of Romania. If I'm not mistaken, the calendar is as such that the new president will be inaugurated on the 21st of December, and also we'll have the new parliament. So practically, after the elections from the parliament, we'll have the negotiations between political parties to form the new governmental coalition if no party will win the majority of the seats. And as far as our constitution says, the new president will nominate a prime minister who will have to go in the parliament to get the vote of the parliament for the government to be approved. So more or less this is the process, and probably from January on we'll have the new institutions in place.
How do people celebrate the inauguration in Romania, Ambassador?
As I mentioned, we are still in the middle of the process, so we are still on the election campaign. This week it's mostly the election campaign for the parliamentary elections, so the parties they are presenting their programs, and our citizens, they look at different offers from the political parties to make up their minds for those who haven't still decided who will vote. Then we'll have another week for the presidential elections in which the two candidates again, they will present their programs and people will vote. And afterwards, as it is in a democracy, the results will be accepted by everyone, and we'll proceed to the forming of the new government and the inauguration of the new president.
Now, I know that Romania celebrates Romania National Day or Great Union Day on December 1st.
Yeah.
So, would you tell me about it? What does that day mean to Romania, and how do Romanians celebrate it?
Yeah, indeed, that is a very important day. This year it just happens that it's on the same day with the parliamentary elections.
Right.
So it will be both the democratic process of elections, which we'll have in Romania, and the celebration of the National Day. Generally for the National Day, the government and institutions in different regions, they organize all kinds of manifestations, like for instance, military parades. So probably we'll have a military parade in Romania where people can come and look and just enjoy the celebration. What does it mean? The Great Union Day comes from the year 1918, when after the First World War, in which Romania was part of this war and had a lot of human casualties, of course. But in 1918, we managed to unify the Romanian historical provinces into one big Romania. Because the state of Romania had been in place since the 19th century. But in 1918, we managed to add to the modern state of Romania some historical provinces like Bessarabia, and on the 1st of December it was the unification with Transylvania. But this was a longer process of unification with other Romanian historical provinces. And on the 1st of December, in the city of Alba Iulia, a very beautiful city in Romania, which is in Transylvania, it was a big national gathering in which deputies, representatives from different Romanian regions, they expressed their will for the unification of the historical province of Transylvania with the motherland, with Romania. So on that day, Romania became full with Transylvania. It's a day of unification. And that is, we call it the Great Union. Because in 1859 was the so-called small union between Moldova and Wallachia. So the two provinces united in 1859. That was the, let's say, informally small union, although it is a very important union, after which the state of Romania appeared, after the unification of Moldova and Wallachia, or the Romanian country. We had Romania, and on the 1st of December 1918, we unified also with Transylvania, and we got what it was called at that time the Big Romania. But since then, Transylvania is a part of our country, and we are now a unified country with different ethnicities living peacefully inside our country.
So do you have a festival to celebrate it?
Yeah, we have many festivals outside, like military parade or other food festivals or music concerts in different cities. Yes, people like to be outside, like to celebrate, also like to celebrate in their families, eat Romanian traditional food.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Ambassador Balanescu, your time and insights during our discussion were invaluable. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Demikian pemirsa perbincangan saya dengan Duta Besar Rumania untuk Indonesia, His Excellency Dan Adrian Balanescu. Terima kasih telah menyaksikan International Corner. Sampai jumpa di episode berikutnya. Thank you so much, Ambassador.
Thank you.